Do you know how much goal you have to leave your country to come live in the blackest place you can find? Any hood in the world is dangerous. But Pakistanis have decided to infiltrate black townships across the country. Doesn't matter what township, across the country, and then ban blacks from having spazas. And if they do have spazas, then they eliminate them.
I take them out the game.
Yeah.
Take them out. There's a Pakistani for ghost
Not
nose.
the foxy.
Bruh, do you know how scary it is seeing a guy in a full suit and fish flops?
Coming to tell you, you can sell Amakip Kips.
Good day, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the 360 experience with myself, Thomas Mabaso. Guys, a lot is happening in this country, so I'm trying my best to cover as much ground as possible, but then I'm only one man, so I want to share with you some of the clips that have actually caught my attention throughout the week, and I hope that you enjoy these videos. And after watching these videos, please tell me what you think in the comment section. Don't forget to hit the like button, and the most important part, subscribe. My name is Thomas Mabaso. I will see you next time. Bye bye.
President Ramaphosa, it's about time to leave now. It's about time to leave the office. He's done. Mr. Ramaphosa never loved South Africans, particularly poor South Africans. He never loved, never cared about poor South Africans. People were killed in Marikana. Poor people were murdered like flies in Marikana. Nothing happened. No consequences whatsoever. Nothing happened. Poor people were murdered in Marikana under his authority. Nothing happened whatsoever. We made him a president of ANC. He destroyed ANC, single-handedly destroyed ANC. He found ANC on the ICU, yes, he did found it on the ICU, he pulled the plug, and ANC died. Today, ANC found itself on GNU, with no other options. When GNU started, Mandela started GNU, it was an option. You know, it was an idea pilot that Mandela wanted to exercise. He had an option to do some other stuff. But today, there's no other option. He's down the ANC, destroyed ANC, now he's slowly destroying our country, South Africa. We can't allow that happen. Ramaphosa destroyed ANC, destroying South Africa. The youth unemployment is 45.5. The youth unemployment rate in South Africa is on 32% unemployment rate under his leadership.
Guys, do you understand the extent of this corruption? Do you understand the scale of this loot? Do you understand the officials, the ranks, from former ministers, deputy national commissioners? We just heard that the state security agency, some officials and members in there are also involved in aiding and abetting these cartels and the syndicates. Do you understand why when people are missing and they're being trafficked, the issue hasn't been just that the world is evil, that there's just, the world is just a bad place? Drugs, illegal firearms, crime that has been happening, the rise of crime. Do you understand this? Because the security service, chapter 11 of the security service on our constitution, the subs, which is under the chapter 11, a part of it, I don't know, a chunk of it has been compromised. Do you know it's because there's people who have been benefiting from the pain of citizens? We just saw Hangwani Maumela, his property in Sandton being raided, saw 3 Lamborghinis. Do you understand there's people who died in Tembisa hospitals because of the poor conditions of the facilities in there? Do you understand that there's money that was needed to help patients? Probably some of them died. Do you understand that these things, they don't just happen? It's because there's someone who benefits. You know, I saw the cars as they were raiding and they were taking the cars. And I'm thinking, what these people have done is beyond evil. It's because there was just a network of connection with even like former ministers. Why wouldn't they be arrogant? Why wouldn't they think or they will never be caught? Why? Yo.
If there is sufficient evidence to confiscate the assets of criminals, there is sufficient, the only basis for that is that they have committed a criminal act. Why are they not arrested at the same time? And I'm afraid that builds a trust deficit at the moment, because it is inconceivable that the evidence doesn't exist for follow-up. And yet, when handed over to the Hawks and to the police and to the NPA, nothing happens. And what it appears in terms of that pattern is somebody's getting a slap on the wrist. We will let the whole thing stop at taking your assets, but we're not going to put you in jail. Back off for a bit because you're becoming an embarrassment.
When the African National Congress was persecuted in South Africa, they went to other countries like Angola, Zimbabwe. When they go Zambia, Lesotho, when they got there, they lived in camps. Those countries, we must be forever grateful that they have given our commanders shelter and protection during that time. But it doesn't mean because some of our leaders was in foreign countries, illegal foreigners must come here and do what they like in South Africa. We understand that you owe them. Now it's the GNU. We owe them nothing as the GNU. We can't have illegal foreigners selling drugs to our children. We can't have them taking housing. We can't have them taking jobs that are meant for our people. So I'm asking you, Acting President, we have to act. Otherwise, our children will bow to these illegal people that are in our country. We have nothing against foreigners, but we are a government. We have laws in this country. You must respect our laws. Batafela Mona, they are busy with prostitution, selling our children. They are selling drugs. They are selling expired food. Our children are dying. We can't allow that anymore.
You know, this issue around what the RAF's obligations are insofar as it helping specifically foreign nationals was recently ventilated in court. I think it was in 2022. And then I think it was the High Court that found that, in fact, there is no discrimination according to immigration status. Would that be the case even in this particular scenario?
Unfortunately, it will be. You're mentioning the courts. We have mentioned time and again that as a country, we shouldn't be paying for foreigners, whether they're here legally or illegally, period. Now, when we have foreigners coming through, there's a couple of things that we have insisted in the past. We have insisted that you bring your passport for us to see, number one, that you're here illegally, but also to determine whether when the accident happened, you were indeed in the country, South Africa. Now, we have had fights with these courts in that they have pushed us to essentially break the law, because the Immigration Act is very clear when it comes to foreigners, in that it says that we are not allowed as an institution to be doing deals with foreigners as pertaining to the illegal foreigners. But we have this very peculiar situation where the judges are saying every foreigner is here, even if illegally, but they are here constitutionally. We don't want to pay them, period. If it was up to me, up to the Road Accident Fund, we shouldn't be paying people from outside the country, but we are compelled by this nanny constitution and the judges.
Gosh.
South Africa does not need a rich man to be president. They are so correct. Absolutely correct. There are many people in this country who are incredible people, enormously talented, enormously committed. Let me say this to you. Let me start with Panyaza. Panyaza is Premier of Gauteng. That job is a calling. You've got to look at, if you're a mayor of a city or a town, you've got a duty to the people that you lead, but you also have a duty to the Almighty, because there are things that you may do that the people may not see. So make sure when you sleep at night, you are absolutely convinced that everything I'm doing is proper, it's fair, it's just, it's ethical. Being president of a country.
Love the world and you want to see a better world. Your interest is not just free Palestine. I mean, there are more people dying in Nigeria than are dying in Palestine. I can tell you that last year alone, over 500,000 Christians were killed in Nigeria just in 1 year. And nobody's protesting. The activists are not saying anything. For me, that's hypocrisy. In the north of Nigeria, Christians are being killed daily because the Islamic militants don't want Christians to exist in the north of Nigeria. They want to see a world where there are no Christians at all. And they want to conquer not just Nigeria, they want to conquer Africa, they want to conquer Europe, and they want to conquer America. The younger generation who want to live in a better world must speak out today. And I'm calling on all advocates of a free world to.
If we can allow the BELA Bill to be diluted to be something that is not what it is, comrade, we have betrayed this revolution. And on this one, comrade, it's no retreat, no surrender. I want to urge COSATU, the SACP, SANCO, and all structures of the ANC, especially our education-based formations, SADU, COSAS, SASCO, the Youth League, YCL, and all other formations. If there is a period that we need to stand together for the sake of our children, that never and never again that our children will be denied quality education on the basis that they don't speak Afrikaans. And never again that our children will be denied access to an Afrikaans large school that is next door where our parents stay, purely because that particular school has been declared a no-go area for our children. If we can't defend that as a collective, comrade, and if we can't defend that as alliance, if we can't defend that as progressive forces, comrade, then there's no justification why we exist as movements. We need to reclaim the African National Congress. And the message is very simple. If they are not ready to genuinely discuss the amendments that they want to make, if they think they can go through the back door and seek agreements that exclude majority, on the 13th of December, we have no choice but to plead with our president, implement the BELA Bill the way it is. We'll face the consequences of taking that particular decision. We are not apologetic. We're willing to listen, but it's quite clear that we are dealing with tricksters rather than people that genuinely want to deal with the issue. You can't hide behind a broomstick when you are a racist. We'll expose you. So our commitment, therefore, comrades, to the BELA Bill and related bills like NHI and many other things, we need to conclude those processes and implement those processes without further delay. So, comrades, we wish you well.
With the state.
And so, Mr. Khumalo, when you look at South Africa, the state of our country, then and today, what would you say?
The state of our country is a mess. And I know most people that disagree with me if I make the comparisons between apartheid and democracy.
And democracy.
Yeah, I can tell you without any shadow of doubt, and if I'm wrong, I'll apologize. I've challenged lots of people and I say, if I say apartheid was better than democracy, and if I'm wrong, I will pay you life expenses for the rest of my life. I mean it. Pound for pound. Go to sports.
Yeah.
We produce better stars, bigger stars during apartheid as compared to now. Now, maybe beyond the Amapiano culture, I can say things are looking up because at least now we are producing stars that are internationally renowned.
Yes.
So I think the youth there, they're doing something positive.